most millionaires have at least 7 streams of income.
Yep.
So if you're sitting there at home right now and you're just relying on your W-2 and you go to clock in every day, that's fine. But I always want to encourage people to start building other sources of income to kind of really grow your wealth and not be reliant on that one source. So
hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Real Estate Investing Real Talk Show with your host Tyler J and Sherwin G. Jeez, cut me off there, Tyler.
Dude, you were pausing too quick. You were just pausing, and I didn't know if you wanted me to go or not, man.
I'm learning to have a radio broadcast voice. After rewatching the first couple episodes.
We are our worst critics, man. I hate watching myself, and you hate watching yourself. You hate listening to yourself. I hate listening to myself. But this is how you learn, man.
Yeah, and we're like, just go for it. Just do it. We're gonna get comments. We're gonna may get likes. Don't forget to
like and subscribe. Hit that like button. Smash the like button and subscribe.
Yeah, and just go back and watch our first couple episodes if you haven't watched it already. But what were you gonna say, Tyler? Sorry.
I was gonna say, if you haven't noticed, Sherwin is not wearing a hat today.
Yeah, I got
his wife said, "Stop wearing hats in videos."
No, I was looking. I was trying to find out from the previous episodes which hat haven't I worn yet, because I wore a different hat every single time, and that's why when we first started this video, I didn't have a hat on, because I was gonna ask you, Tyler, what was that last video? What hat did I have on, so I don't re-wear it again, so I can wear a different hat. But yeah, I'm like, whatever. Just grease the hair back, tie it all nice. I got a little clean cut, so whatever. It's
we're making small improvements here, and as you can see, I actually have a background now.
I know we're pros.
However, my webcam is like worse quality, so we've been joking around that my webcam is horrible, but I have a nice mic, and Sherwin's got the nice camera, but a gamer headset. But hey, we're getting better every episode. Yeah. Just wait till episode 100. It's gonna blow your mind.
Yeah. The viewers are probably wondering, so what are these guys talking about?
They're like, why are we even watching right now? So we should jump into it, man. Let's jump into what this episode looks like today.
I mean, yeah, for those of you just joining us, we just mentioned, that's Tyler. I'm Sherwin. We invest in real estate, and, look at our first couple episodes. Go watch some of our first couple episodes. The last episode, sort of like a quick recap, is sort of how we transitioned full-time into investing in real estate and back. Tyler had an interesting story about that.
Spoiler alert. Well, I won't give out the details, but if you watch our previous episode, you'll find out kind of our career paths and how we ended up in real estate and what we're doing today. But it was about the transition to full-time real estate and ... back for me. But yeah.
And this episode's pretty exciting. It's we're gonna talk about I said again. Everybody,
just keep doing it. Be yourself.
Well, this episode we're going to talk about ideas for building additional streams of income and why that's important. And Tyler and I kind of go through kind of our investment portfolio and discuss how we build additional streams of income, and so we're not too reliant on one stream, right?
Yeah, this is honestly one of my favorite topics. A lot of people know me as the guy that dabbles around in a lot of different areas when it comes to building income streams. And I think one of the most impactful, I guess, facts or quotes or stories that I heard in the recent years actually came out from the IRS in terms of basically data on millionaires, and they came up and said basically most millionaires have at least 7 streams of income. Yep. So if you're sitting there at home right now and you're just relying on your W-2 and you go to clock in every day, that's fine. But I always want to encourage people to start building other sources of income to kind of really grow your wealth and not be reliant on that one source. So the IRS, like I mentioned, listed 7 income streams that most millionaires have. And maybe Sherwin, we'll bounce back and forth and name them off just to provide some flair to our video. But
I was gonna say you're probably a little bit better than me in terms of building multiple streams, and we'll discuss it, throughout the episode, what you do and what I do.
But
But before we get into that, stay tuned till the end, because we have an article that we'll talk about that, will tell you like 3 primary ways that self-made millionaires got rich.
yep.
So that's a little teaser.
Make
So
sure you stay to the end. Keep
yeah,
watching us.
yeah. But anyways, you want to go through this?
Yeah, yeah,
According to the IRS,
yeah.
what are the
We'll
different
knock out
streams?
those, and then just to comment, Sherwin, like here, I know you mentioned that I'm much better in this area, but really it just comes down to like the fact that anyone has more than one is a huge first step and first start anyways. So, but yeah, according to the IRS, there's 7 income streams of millionaires. The first one is dividend income from stocks owned. So that's basically if you're investing in the stock market or have a retirement account and mutual funds and getting paid typically monthly or quarterly dividends on your stocks.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I don't know about you, Sherwin. I have a pretty small dividend portfolio, but I do have some money in dividends.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch the first couple episodes, I'm not a stocks guy. That's the one investment that I know barely nothing about. I mean, I have a brokerage account that someone manages my account for me, but other than that, I'm not like a day trader or any of that sort. Yeah.
Yep.
And another stream, which is pretty interesting, because we talked about this. We didn't include this as a additional stream when we initially talked about this, but earn income from paychecks from your W-2 job is also additional stream of income, or is a stream of
Is a
income,
stream of
and
income.
it's probably the majority of people's main source of income, and maybe only stream of income, right?
Yep. Another one is royalties, which I have no experience in, but it's basically royalties from selling rights to use something they've written or created or invented. I guess I think about artists that produce music, for example,
Mm.
or actors in movies.
Yeah.
But I don't know if either of us have any experience in the royalty world.
No, I'm trying to get my kids out of the liability column to assets, and maybe get them in
Yes.
commercials, so we get some of that royalty checks from commercials, or
Yep.
something like that. But no, I'm not, wasn't an actor back in my day or anything like that. It would be dope though. It would be pretty cool.
Yep.
Another stream is capital gains from selling appreciated assets like real estate or businesses or cars. Well, do cars appreciate? I guess some cars do, right?
I think you can have appreciating cars if
Yeah.
they're usually classics or rarities or rare cars.
Yeah. So that's interesting, because that's a stream of income, but that's not a it's not a monthly income.
Yeah,
You get that chunk of income when you sell. But it's
that's an
still,
interesting one. Yeah, it's
yeah,
more like the flipping world,
yeah,
and
it's
it's just
still,
a big chunk of money.
yeah, but it's still considered another stream of income that you're
Hmm.
building up towards, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
We also have profits from businesses
Yep.
that you or they own.
Mhm.
So if you're a business owner, it's profits and income and from a business.
Yeah. And trial, the proven method, I guess, or probably what everybody gains, is interest from savings, CDs, bonds, or other lending activities. I mean, even, I guess that's a source of income. I actually have that as my list as well, because I do get interest from my savings. Whatever little savings I have in there, I
A
get
very
like,
small amount,
yeah, I
probably.
get 5 cents every month, man. That's
Yeah.
that's additional income. But there's also stuff, what I used to back in days, CD laddering. You heard of that? Where
Mm.
I would do like a CD for like 3 months, and then every 3 months I do another one, and then by then it'll mature every 3 months, and by then I have it kind of overlapping, every year and so forth. So that's another way. Or our high savings account. I know you do this a lot, Tyler, right? You have a high interest savings account, I should
Yeah,
say.
I have. Yeah, high interest savings accounts don't really exist too much anymore. I wouldn't say they're high interest, but I do have some money in some savings accounts that produce decent saving interest rates.
Uh-huh.
But this is a completely different topic, but I've been dabbling a little bit more in the crypto world and keeping my
Oh,
money with some crypto platforms that actually
let's.
provide higher returns. We
Oh,
won't go down that rabbit hole just
yeah. Let's save it for
yet. our,
for later down the line. The alternative
exactly.
ways, right?
Our last income stream here for millionaires is probably one of our favorites. It's rents from rental real estate.
Yep.
So pretty self-explanatory. It's what Sherwin and I do on the buy and hold side and syndication side. But So yeah, that was a 7. It was dividends, W-2 income, royalties, capital gains, profits from a business, interest from savings, CDs, bonds, etc., and rents from real estate.
Yeah, and this was according to IRS. There's also other means that we'll talk about later in the episode, some alternative means to get additional streams of income. But before we get into that, Tyler, let's sort of discuss what's the importance of having multiple streams of income. Why is it important? Why should people look into that in the first place?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great question. I know for probably the first really 5 years out of college, when I was, a young adult getting into the workforce, I only focused on my W-2 job. It was like get the job, get the income, just trying to keep increasing that income, get promotions, and just rely on that. But as I got older and started to really focus on what my future financial life would look like, I just realized I had to create more sources of income to increase my overall net worth and income. And then I think the biggest example of why someone should have multiple income streams is, Sherwin and I last year went through a layoff and a furlough experience.
Hmm.
And I think that was really when I saw the importance of having those multiple income streams. So not relying on one source of income allowed us to take that furlough and layoff experience a lot easier than I think a lot of people in this world. So just knowing you have other kind of backup income sources is a huge weight off your shoulders if and when a situation arises at your job where they're like, "Hey, Sherwin, sorry, man, economy's not doing well. Can't keep paying you," or it's like, "Hey, Tyler, industry is falling right now, can't keep paying you, sorry, you got to go your own separate way." But yeah, it's not putting all your eggs in one basket, not putting all your eggs in that W-2 job.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's the biggest thing for me.
yeah. I
what,
mean,
what
yeah.
about you, Sherwin?
I mean,
Why do you think it's
certainly.
important?
I mean, the pandemic and what happened. We're like, we're over a year into this pandemic now, and this even kind of served more of an importance to have this additional stream because, like we talked about, and you can hear our stories in the last episode of us being furloughed and let go from our W-2 jobs. If that was our main source of income, like so many unfortunate people who got hit by the pandemic, their W-2 was maybe their only source of income. Unfortunately, got let go or laid off from their job and didn't have another source, you know, for their finances,
Hmm.
for rent, for food under the table, which is sort of fortunate. And financial gurus and maybe your parents have told you, hey, build up that emergency fund. And people were kind of, and if you're fortunate enough to have an emergency fund, great. You should build up what they say, like 6 or 7 months of emergency fund, something like that. But people were living off that. But a year later, who knew this pandemic was going to last over a year? Because then now that savings account or got dried up or is drying up soon, and without another source of income coming in, you're not replenishing that. So you hit on the point. Your W-2 job is great. That's your main source of income, like many other people have that right now. But it's also great to have sort of additional streams to complement that, to add that. And that's sort of how I got into real estate, is because I still have my W-2 job when I was working in architecture, and I just wanted another source of income to supplement that income source,
Hmm.
right? So eventually, with my goal being, as I got more investor minded in that mindset of, you know, buying more assets and limiting my liabilities, to increase this additional stream of income, to increase this income from multiple sources. So I'm not reliant and dependent on just one income. So if one drops, I'll be okay because I have other sources of income coming in. So I'll be okay with that. So,
Yeah, and one thing I was thinking about just now too is um, they don't even have to be massive sources of income. Like I'm not saying like these have to initially produce 100K in revenue every year. I was just thinking about the fact that like I have some sources that you know they're not full-blown businesses, but
mhm.
they're pretty passive and they provide me with some additional income. So like I love trying to find ways to basically supplement my life. So what I mean by that is like I'll create a source of income that covers my groceries for the month. I'll
Mm,
create a source of income that covers my health insurance for the month. I'll create a source of income that covers my transportation costs or the
mm,
gym for the month. And it's kind of cool to like start collecting these, we'll call it income sources that are then covering your expenses throughout the month. So it's like, it's almost like, oh man, I'm going to the gym for free now because I have this income source created, or I'm eating, groceries for the month for free because of this source of income, whether that's a cash flowing property
yeah,
or if it's a investment or if it's a little small product you're selling online. So
yeah,
I kind of like to try and find ways to just cover my expenses. That's the whole goal for me, is the
yeah,
financial freedom part of it. So
yeah.
I'm
No,
trying to find ways to cover my expenses.
yeah, that's a very interesting way of looking at it, because a lot of people look at it where they, you hear all the time or you read a lot about it in other real estate forums, if you read real estate forums and blogs and stuff, that
Yeah. No, I
to
literally see, I have a single family house in Indianapolis that cash flows like $300 a month.
yeah,
I see that as that's I see
that's
that
your
as
gym.
like I get
Yeah,
free groceries every month.
yeah,
That's free
yeah.
groceries.
No, it's great that you kind of break it down like that, because a lot of
Yeah.
people are maybe thinking bigger, which is great. There's nothing wrong with, like, no,
Yeah.
no, no. I mean, like, thinking bigger, like,
I
hey,
thought you said I thought you said thinking about beer.
oh no, oh well,
They're like,
maybe.
oh, $300 a month for beer.
I
Hey,
mean,
if you want to see it that way too, that
yeah.
works.
I mean, that's later. I mean, like, people may be thinking, oh, I want to build up a lot of multiple sources of income or passive income to replace my paycheck,
Hmm.
or my my biweekly salary or 2 week salary or whatever it is,
Hmm.
right? But it's interesting that you just broke it down. Like, okay, my gym membership is maybe 150 a month.
Yep.
What can I bring in that will bring me 150? Now, basically, my gym membership fee. So I think that's a great way to think about it as well. So you're not so like, oh my gosh, I got to collect all this income because my 2 week paycheck is this much.
Yep.
But if you break it down little by little, you kind of, we keep talking about, I keep repeating it, you knocked on that first domino, and pretty soon,
Yep.
you will replace your paycheck
Yep. Eventually.
eventually,
So.
right? But yeah, that's pretty interesting. I mean, like, I just bought my house here in the Bay Area, and I have to pay an HOA, but I have a rec center with a gym and pool and all that, and I'm like,
Hmm.
okay, my HOA, I'm paying that anyways, but that gives me this resort kind of area I can use.
Yep.
I'm paying for it, but then I save in the gym membership and the pool membership and all that stuff.
Yep.
But
Yeah. That's
yeah,
how.
no,
Yeah. Breaking it down is I think has been helpful for me.
mm,
Um. So I'm curious, Sharon, what would you consider as a stream of income?
yeah. Well,
I know there's different types of real estate asset classes. There's so many different, like, what is a stream of income? I think
yeah.
this is a question I would struggle with, which there may not be a right answer, but
Yeah. Well, I know I posed this question to you earlier, and said that we should discuss this because you're a little bit better than me. Like, for my baskets of income, it's majority is real estate. But would you consider real estate as one basket? Because under real estate, there's a lot of different types of eggs, I guess you can say. Because there's a lot of different ways and different strategies to invest in real estate.
yeah.
And depending on market conditions, one type of real estate may be better than another type of real estate. So would you consider it as one? I mean, it is one basket, I guess you could say. But I guess, like, so during the pandemic,
Hmm.
right, no one knew what was going to happen in real estate. So if you had like Airbnb or short-term rental real estate, that took a big hit. The hospitality industry
Yeah.
took a big hit. So a
Yeah.
lot of my friends who were in that Airbnb arbitrage industry had to sort of pivot. But if you were in maybe the housing, single family home, maybe flips as well,
Yeah.
single family home prices went up during the pandemic. So, it's still under the basket of real estate, but it's two different types of strategies of investment. But, I mean, I think for me, a separate sheet may be a different category for each
Hmm.
one. And, you know, but not necessarily all kinds of, because real estate is one big basket, but there's different categories under that basket, or different types of eggs. Or like, does that make sense? I don't know if that.
Yeah. I think there's, like I said, there's no right answer to this question on what a source of income is, but I do think that, I think personally, I think that if we're talking about real estate right now, if you're talking about flipping versus wholesaling versus buy and hold versus Airbnb arbitrage, I think those are different sources of income. But I also think that, to be diversified, you do need to also find income sources outside of the whole real estate category anyways. But
Yeah,
I,
I
I
agree.
think, I mean, because if you're flipping houses versus wholesaling versus buy and hold, those are completely different jobs and
Yeah,
work required to produce those types of income. So
Yeah.
I see those as different sources of income. But again, I think diversifying away from even just the whole real estate class and industry as a whole would be helpful
Yeah.
regardless.
I mean, we can just
Yeah.
dive in. I can
Yeah.
go through kind of like my
Let's talk
streams.
about Sherwin's money life. How do you
It's
make money, Sherwin?
I mean,
What
it's
are your
gonna be.
streams of income?
It's not a long list like you, so that's why I'm going first. Well, let me actually. I have a P&L Excel spreadsheet, profit and
Oh
loss,
yeah, here we
because
go.
we talk about like was it the first episode or second episode? Like I think you treat your finances like a business, right?
Yes.
So
Yep.
I actually have a spreadsheet where I have it's like a P&L business spreadsheet where I have income and expenses, and at the end there's cash flow. uh, and I adjust it every month. I go through it and I see where I need to make adjustments. Oh, I need more income. I need more income because I'm in that mindset. A lot of people have that mindset: save, 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 save more, which is great. But I kind of flipped it or be more investor minded. Be like, how do instead of saving more, how do I make more,
Mm-hmm.
right? And get in that mindset. And the way I make is getting assets, right? So probably the main source of we talked about it is W-2 income, but since I don't have a W two now, that's a scratch. So it's my wife's W two, I guess, since we're
Hey,
married.
that still counts, man.
We talked
Still
about it last time. That still
Yep.
counts,
Find
And
a
then
partner that works with you.
yeah, so that's the main source. But a lot of people, as everyone just maybe do their taxes. I mean, taxes got extended, but if you look at your taxes, the number one source that gets taxed on is W two income.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to think about that, right? Because now my next source is my big chunk and my big basket, and we're talking about this. I have kind of like one big basket. It's my real estate investments,
Mm-hmm.
but I have different types of real estate investments under this basket, and we can talk more in that detail later on. I have the rentals. I've done some live-in flips before, and probably my main source that I wouldn't say replace my W-2 income, but I guess replace my hours that I spent that I used to spend on W-2 is my syndications and my business. I guess my business is another source, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But it's still part of real estate. So it's still under the real estate basket. And like to your point, Tyler, I need to maybe I should do a better job of getting out of real estate just to diversify because my business is still under the real estate umbrella. But that's my I want to say my that's maybe my main source of income now because it's sort of replaced my W-2 job,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And earlier to my point before, your W-2 job is what you get taxed on the most, but these assets I just talked about, like real estate and businesses, they have beneficial tax benefits, right?
Oh yeah.
So I think I saw this on a podcast where someone said, yeah, so say you make like whatever, say 100, 200K in your W-2 job, you get taxed on that. How much you get
Mm-hmm.
taxed on that? Maybe,
25,
right?
30%, man.
Maybe you don't make that much on your businesses or real estate, but maybe you make like 70,000 or whatever it is. But tax wise, you're still up or you're still even compared
You're
to a
gonna net a
W-2
very
job.
similar amount. Yeah.
Exactly, because in real estate, all the gains you can write off for the
Depreciation,
depreciation.
baby.
So in your income, you make zero, or you claim zero, and you don't get taxed on that because Uncle Sam they like to promote people to build houses, to invest in real estate, to make businesses because businesses um, encourage jobs and
Mm-hmm.
employees and so forth. So the tax code is written for I guess entrepreneurs and made for real estate. I mean, we talk about like, Tom Rewright talks about it all the time. They're made for real estate investors, or they're made for a business owners. So that's why you should be on that B column, the cash flow quadrant that we talked about, or Kiyosaki talks about. But that's sort of like my main chunk, right? My real estate, and that's sort of where, when I had my W-2, that was my additional source of income that was supplementing my income. So when I lost my W-2 job, I was okay, fortunately, because I had these other additional streams of income coming in and flowing in. And we talked about this earlier. I have my bank interest, which is very little, but still, that's a little stream. It's not building anything, or I'm not going anywhere with that. It's just holding, funds for me for reserves for my different businesses and my real estate and so forth. And I don't know, would you consider a brokerage account like your 401k and that as an investment? I'm looking at my P&L. I don't even have it on my asset column because I'm not bringing in
Interesting.
yeah, it's. I mean, I get a
It
monthly.
should. I feel like it should be in your asset column though, because you have money in there.
Yeah, I have money in there. I guess it's not liquid money.
Okay.
But then again, it's one of those things where I have really, like, say if you're doing a flip, you don't
Yeah.
have a monthly, income from
Yeah.
that, but at the end, it's a capital gains that you get at the end, which is still a stream of wealth, a
Yeah.
stream of income for me. But I have my brokerage under my net worth column because I still
Yeah. I was gonna say,
count.
okay, that makes
Yeah,
it should definitely be part of your net worth.
yeah, I have a part of my net worth, but not
Yep.
as far as like P and Ls, like
Hmm.
bringing monthly income. You know,
Yeah.
every month. I mean, sometimes it fluctuates, right?
Yep. Yep.
but
Yep.
that happens with my business too, because I have on my column on my spreadsheet, I have all my lists of my properties, and sometimes, some of my properties cash flow, I'll get some cash flow from there. Sometimes it's negative because I have to put money in.
I
that's
know.
a that's a beauty about being an entrepreneur.
Oh,
But
real estate and entrepreneurship, man.
yeah, but those are sort of my main streams of income. It's nothing fancy. It's it's pretty basic. W-2 real estate, banks, and my brokerage accounts, and my business account is probably my business my biggest one. And I'm trying to do better at looking at other types of streams of income outside of real estate that we can talk about a little bit, and what I can learn from you, because you know I'm interested to learn about what you do for your different types of income, because you're the millennial guy. You have all kinds of creative strategies these days, right? Besides your
Yeah.
you besides your TikTok account, right, Tyler?
I don't have TikTok. I haven't gotten on that train yet.
Oh,
But
okay.
I will also mention we talk about having multiple streams of income. Um, there and again, definitely want to hit it on the head here, where we say it's definitely recommended to keep building more income streams. But there gets to a point where, like for me personally, I'll have way too many where I can't manage them all, and my head's like I'm running around in circles. So like there's definitely a balance to how many income sources you have. But
Is that a good problem or a bad
I
problem?
don't I don't know. I can't tell yet, because the other thing, it comes back down to focus too. Like if I can focus really well on three income sources, or focus in a minuscule manner and on 100, well, those 100 income streams are going to suffer quite a bit. So it comes down to like a weird balance, I think. And I often find myself having this shiny object syndrome, where I'm chasing multiple different things and I'm not as
Hmm.
focused. So they may not be as thriving as they could be. So
Hmm.
I'll just start with saying that. But I generally, like, every day have like 5 new ideas on how to make more money. But I have to tell myself to like rein it in and like just like calm down and like focus on a few.
It, I mean, if
So
it works, if you make money, it works. I mean, you know,
at the end, I'll tell you about my newest idea, Sherwin.
oh yeah, I'm
We'll,
interested in
we'll,
this.
we'll save that for the last part of this
Okay.
episode. My
Oh,
my newest idea.
the alternative ways of making
Yes,
income,
yes, yes.
right?
So, anyways, some of my primary sources of income right now. I'll start with the stock market. I've been
Hmm.
getting more in the stock market the last year, actually. The market's been doing very well, and I've been kind of self-teaching myself how to better read charts and everything.
Hmm.
So, following a lot of YouTube videos, talking to a lot of my friends, and connecting with my friends that have much more experience in that world has been super helpful. So I'm in the stock market. I have some super passive investments in just index funds with like Vanguard.
Hmm.
I do a little bit of dividend investing, where I'm getting paid out, either monthly or quarterly dividends on stocks that don't fluctuate too much. So the value of the stock stays similar, but some of these dividends are being paid out at like 5, 6, 7%
Hmm.
annually, which is pretty good return
Yeah.
for a very passive income source. And then dabbling a little bit more in the crypto world. One thing I've been
Hmm.
doing is taking some of my savings account money, which is earning like 0.5%. And I'm actually keeping them
That's a
with a
great rate. That's a great rate.
you're actually losing money because of inflation, Sherwin.
Oh,
So I was just super frustrated last year on how to make more money on my savings account.
yeah.
But I've been basically putting some of that money into crypto with a couple of platforms that actually pay out annual interest on top of any gains you make. So it's a little bit risky. Obviously, crypto world is a little bit risky.
Yeah.
But I've been finding ways to get paid out, better percentages on my money. So
Hmm.
an example is I get paid out. I converted some of my cash to a cryptocurrency called USD coin,
Hmm.
which always stays like $1. It never fluctuates. I keep it with a crypto platform, and they pay me right now 10.5% annually on that money,
Hmm.
which is a lot better than 0.5%. Now,
Yeah.
obviously, there's risks with that. If the platform were to get hacked or fail or go out of business, but for the time being, I'm taking advantage of that and getting my 10.5% annually.
Man, that's a great rate.
We'll have to talk more about other income sources offline, Sherwin. I want to
Yeah.
show you some of my ways.
Oh yeah.
The other thing I've been doing the last couple of years is I've been building my brand online,
Yeah.
jumpinrealestate.com. Really, it's an education resource for those that are looking to get into real estate and learn more about cash flowing properties or syndication stuff. So I have a couple products on there that I sell. The digital products. I have an ebook and then a digital package of
Mm,
resources that I sell online. So those bring me in money every month. Um, I have my cash flowing properties in the Midwest out in Indianapolis that cash flow. I'm also doing 2 refinances on those properties right now, which should bring me back a decent chunk of money. And I'll be able to play with some more capital in the upcoming months, as well as lower my interest rate. So
mm-hmm.
that's a big hack there, is that refinance.
Yeah.
If your property appreciates and interest rates come down and you refinance, that's a life hack right there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Last two I'll touch on here is syndications. I have some money as an LP limited partner, which is completely passive, generally getting paid out on a quarterly basis. And then hopefully, once we exit those properties, a nice payout. We're actually going to be exiting one property at the end of this month, one of the properties out in Phoenix. So I'll be getting some nice capital back from that. And then also have some involvement on the GP side, where I did a syndication in Mesa, Arizona. It was a 94 unit out there. And then the last thing I'll touch on is I'm the side hustle king, man. I got a lot of different side hustles. Not all of them are worth my time, but I'll do anything from DoorDash to driving Uber, man. I for whatever reason, I like to hustle.
Yeah. No,
So
that was a nice fancy list, longer than mine. No, but that's great though. And I think, we'll talk about maybe a little bit more in depth about the different types of real estate investments. You kind of touched about it, right? And sort of like our experiences and what we do, because you just mentioned a bunch of different
different ways to make money, man.
yeah, different streams. And I think I got to do better as far as like I love the digital products and the website and social, and I'm trying to get that with my company with Flight,
Mm-hmm.
right? But maybe they're down the line come up with an ebook or something. Right now, I, I mean, I just content for free. I don't
Yep.
mind just
Free
chatting with
content's the best
people,
content, man.
and I'm not a guru, I'm not a pro, but hopefully you can learn from my mistakes and my stories, and that's what this whole show is all about, anyways, right? Learning from our
We're
stories and our experiences, right?
we're here giving out free content, and anyone that calls himself a guru, I just don't listen to. Period. So like, we all make mistakes. I've learned the hard way. Sherman's learned the hard way.
Yeah.
We're just here to share our stories, man, and experiences.
Yeah, but those are great. Those are great different streams of income you just mentioned. I got to do a better job on that, especially with the internet now, right? With social media and digital marketing, that's one avenue that I like to explore as far as maybe blogging or something. Oh, I mean, we're good. That's maybe a good segue of kind of like alternative ways of
Alternative ways.
of additional streams of income.